If you are over 60 and you have noticed that your energy is not what it used to be, that your legs feel heavier, that your mind feels foggier, and that something just feels off inside your body, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I am about to share with you could genuinely change the way your blood moves through your body, starting today. We are talking about one simple glass, one ingredient, and a science that most doctors never take the time to explain to their patients. I am Dr. Akira Tanaka, a urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men like you regain their energy, performance, and vitality. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. Before we go any further, if you are serious about protecting your prostate, staying strong, and living without fear, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I share real information backed by real science for men just like you. And if this topic matters to you, type 1 in the comments and tell me where in the world you are watching from. If not, type 0, so I know how to help you better next time. Before we dive in, quick warning, if you are over 60 and your energy or performance isn't where it used to be, it's not just aging. It could be a vitamin issue most men completely miss. That's exactly why I created Men Over 60, the 4 essential vitamins that restore energy, boost performance, and reignite intimacy. It shows you the exact nutrients your body needs and how to use them to feel stronger, more energized, and more confident again. It's available right now, and for a limited time, it's at a discounted launch price. I've put the link in the description and pinned comment. Go check it out before the price goes up. Now let's get into the video. Let me paint a picture for you. You wake up in the morning and instead of feeling rested, you feel like you never really slept. Your legs are stiff, your head is cloudy, you move through your morning slower than you used to, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you wonder if this is just what getting older feels like. I want to tell you something, and I want you to hear this clearly. That sluggishness is not just age. A very large part of what you are feeling is poor circulation, blood that is not moving the way it should, oxygen that is not reaching the tissues that need it, and nutrients that are not being delivered efficiently to the organs that depend on them, including your prostate, your muscles, your brain, and your heart. And here's the part that frustrates me after 3 decades of practice. Most men over 60 never get told this. They get told their numbers are fine. They get handed a prescription. They are sent home. But nobody sits them down and explains what is actually happening inside their blood vessels and what simple, natural, science-backed things they can do about it. That is exactly what I am here to do today. So let us start with a juice that has been sitting quietly in the background of cardiovascular science for years, slowly building one of the strongest research profiles of any natural food on the planet. That juice is beet juice. And before you tell me you have heard of it before, I want you to hold on, because most people who know about beet juice have no idea how it actually works, and almost nobody knows about the one ingredient that can take its effects on blood flow and multiply them in a way that researchers themselves have described as remarkable. We will get to that ingredient. But first, I need to give you the foundation, because once you understand the science, the solution will make complete sense. Beets are packed with something called inorganic dietary nitrates. These are naturally occurring compounds found in high concentrations in the beetroot. When you drink beet juice, those nitrates enter your bloodstream. But here is where the story gets interesting. The nitrates on their own do not do much. They need to be transformed. And the transformation begins not in your stomach, not in your intestines, but in your mouth. Right now, sitting on the back surface of your tongue, there are colonies of bacteria. Healthy, beneficial bacteria. And these bacteria carry enzymes called nitrate reductases. When the nitrates from beet juice come into contact with these bacteria, they are converted into something called nitrites. That is step 1. Step 2 happens in your stomach, where the acidic environment continues the conversion, turning those nitrites into nitric oxide. And step 3 happens inside the walls of your blood vessels themselves, where the process is completed at the tissue level. Nitric oxide. Remember that name, because nitric oxide is the master molecule of blood flow in the human body. When nitric oxide is released near the smooth muscle cells that wrap around your blood vessels, it triggers a cascade dot. It activates an enzyme called guanylate cyclase, which produces a molecule called cyclic GMP. And cyclic GMP sends one very clear signal to those smooth muscle cells. Relax. When those cells relax, your blood vessels widen. The resistance inside them drops, and blood flows more freely, more efficiently, and more powerfully to every single part of your body. Your muscles, your brain, your kidneys, your prostate. Now here is the part that I find genuinely important for men over 60 specifically. As you age, your endothelial cells, which are the cells lining the inside of your blood vessels, begin to lose their ability to produce nitric oxide on their own. This natural decline is one of the primary reasons that circulation tends to worsen as men get older. The body's internal system for keeping blood vessels open and responsive starts to break down. But the nitrate pathway from beet juice bypasses that system entirely. It does not rely on your endothelial cells at all. It operates through a completely separate route, which means no matter how much age-related vascular decline you have already experienced, beet juice can still generate nitric oxide in your body, still open your blood vessels, still improve your circulation. And the research backs this up with numbers that are hard to ignore. Studies have shown that beet juice can lower systolic blood pressure by 4 to 10 points. It improves oxygen delivery to muscles during physical activity. It enhances what researchers call flow-mediated dilation, which is the gold standard measurement of how well your blood vessels respond and adapt. These effects can begin within just 2 to 3 hours of a single serving, and they can persist for up to 24 hours. One glass, 2 to 3 hours. And your body is already responding. Now let me pause here for a moment and just check in with you. If you have been watching this and thinking, okay, I never knew any of this, I need to know more, then you are exactly the person this channel exists for. Real science, real explanations, no shortcuts and no fluff. If you are finding this video valuable and you want more content like this, please take 2 seconds right now and subscribe. Hit that button, turn on the bell. Because what I am about to share with you in the next few minutes is the part that most people never hear. And you will want to be here for the next video too. Now, beet juice on its own is powerful. I want to be clear about that. But here is the truth that I have come to understand both through research and through years of working with patients. Most men are getting only a fraction of the benefit that beet juice could be giving them, not because the juice is weak, but because they are drinking it alone without the one ingredient that unlocks its full potential. I want you to think about a key. Beet juice is the lock. This ingredient is the key. Without it, you are turning the handle, but the door is only opening halfway. That ingredient is raw ginger. Fresh, unprocessed, whole ginger root. And what it does when combined with beet juice creates something that researchers have described as a synergistic effect on circulation, meaning the combined result is not just the sum of two things added together. It is something greater. Something multiplicative. Let me show you exactly why. We already know that beet juice works by generating nitric oxide, which relaxes blood vessel walls and improves flow. That is the diameter side of the equation. But blood flow is not determined by vessel diameter alone. It is also determined by something called blood viscosity, which is simply how thick or thin your blood is and how easily it moves. Imagine two pipes of the exact same width. Through one pipe, you are pushing water. Through the other, you are pushing honey. The water flows freely. The honey struggles. Your blood, when it is thick and sluggish, behaves more like the honey. And even if beet juice has done its job and opened your blood vessels wide, thick blood will still move slowly through them. This is where ginger steps in with a mechanism that is completely different from anything beet juice does on its own. Ginger contains powerful bioactive compounds called gingerols and shogaols. These compounds work directly on your platelets, which are the tiny blood cells responsible for clotting. In healthy amounts, platelet activity is essential. But in excess, platelets begin to clump together in a process called aggregation, and that aggregation increases blood thickness, slows flow, and reduces the efficiency of circulation throughout your entire body. Gingerols from fresh ginger inhibit this excessive aggregation. They essentially keep your blood in a more fluid state, allowing it to move more freely through the vessels that beet juice has opened. The image I want you to hold in your mind is this. Beet juice builds the highway. Ginger clears the traffic. But ginger does not stop there. That is what makes this combination so remarkable. Ginger also has strong anti-inflammatory effects on the walls of your blood vessels. The inner lining of your arteries is sensitive. When inflammation settles into those walls, it reduces their ability to respond to nitric oxide signals. Think of it like static on a phone line. The message is being sent, but it is not getting through clearly. Ginger reduces that vascular inflammation, keeping the signal clear, keeping your blood vessels responsive, and ensuring that every molecule of nitric oxide generated by the beet juice is received and acted upon fully. On top of that, fresh ginger creates what is called a thermogenic effect in the body. It slightly raises your core temperature, and when your body temperature rises, your circulatory system responds by opening blood vessels to distribute that heat more evenly. This is vasodilation through an entirely separate mechanism, a heat-mediated reflex that has nothing to do with nitric oxide at all, but that adds another layer of blood flow support on top of everything else already happening. 3 separate mechanisms, 1 ingredient, and every single one of them works in harmony with what beet juice is already doing. There is also emerging research, still in its early stages but genuinely exciting, suggesting that certain compounds in ginger may actually support the health and activity of the bacteria on your tongue, the very bacteria responsible for converting nitrates from beet juice into nitrites in that critical first step of the pathway. If ginger nourishes those bacteria, then it may be increasing the efficiency of beet juice's conversion process before it even reaches your stomach. The science on this is still developing, but as someone who has spent 30 years watching research evolve, I will tell you the early signals are promising. And in the context of everything else ginger is already doing, it only deepens the case for this combination. Now let me give you a moment to take stock of where we are. Beet juice is generating nitric oxide through the nitrate pathway, completely bypassing your endothelium and opening your blood vessels regardless of how much age-related vascular decline you have already experienced. Ginger is thinning the blood, reducing vascular inflammation, adding thermogenic vasodilation, and potentially enhancing the bacterial conversion process that makes beet juice work in the first place. These 2 ingredients together are not just complementary, they are synergistic. They target different steps in the same process, reinforcing each other at every stage. But here is the part I want you to stay with me for, because we have not yet talked about how to prepare this combination, when to drink it, how much to use, or the one practical warning that could be making your beet juice almost completely ineffective without you ever knowing it. Stay with me. We are almost there. Let us talk about how to actually prepare this so that you get the full benefit every single time. Start with approximately 200 milliliters of fresh beet juice. If you have a juicer at home, fresh beet juice made from organic whole beets is always your best option. The nitrate content is higher, the flavor is more vibrant, and there are no additives or preservatives interfering with the process. If you do not have a juicer, a high-quality commercial beet juice without added sugars or artificial ingredients is a perfectly acceptable alternative. Read the label. You want beet juice, just beet juice. Now, for the ginger. This part matters more than most people realize. Fresh ginger root and dried ginger powder are not the same thing. The bioactive gingerols that do all the work we just talked about, the antiplatelet effects, the anti-inflammatory effects, the thermogenic effects, they are most concentrated and most biologically active in fresh, unprocessed ginger root. Ginger powder that has been sitting on a shelf has lost a significant portion of those active compounds. Go to your local market. Buy a piece of fresh ginger root. Take 1 to 2 teaspoons of it, grated finely. You can blend it directly into your beet juice, or if you prefer a smoother texture, you can steep the grated ginger in a small amount of warm water for 5 minutes, strain it, and add that ginger-infused liquid to your beet juice. Both methods work. Choose whichever fits your kitchen routine best. Blend everything together until it is fully combined and smooth. That is your preparation. Simple, inexpensive, and backed by a body of research that continues to grow stronger every year. Now for timing. When should you drink this? If your primary goal is general circulatory support throughout your active hours, morning is your best window. The nitric oxide boost will support your blood flow during the part of the day when you are most physically and mentally engaged. You will feel the difference in your energy, in your mental clarity, in the way your legs feel when you walk. If your goal is overnight vascular recovery, evening is powerful as well. Your body does its most intensive repair and maintenance work while you sleep, and providing the raw materials for nitric oxide production during that window supports that process directly. Some men find it helpful to take a smaller amount twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, for more consistent around-the-clock support. Experiment. Your body will tell you what works best for you. Now, the warning I mentioned, this is important and I want you to pay attention to this part because it is something almost no one talks about. The entire effectiveness of the beet juice and ginger combination depends on a critical first step happening correctly in your mouth. The bacteria on your tongue must convert the dietary nitrates from your beet juice into nitrites. Without that step, the whole chain breaks down. No nitrites means no nitric oxide. No nitric oxide means no vasodilation. No vasodilation means you have drunk a glass of beet juice and gotten almost none of its circulatory benefit. Here is what kills those bacteria: antibacterial mouthwash. If you are using a strong antiseptic or antibacterial mouthwash in the morning before you drink your beet juice, you are eliminating the very bacteria your body needs to make the juice work. You are essentially neutralizing the most important first step of the entire process before it even begins. Regular brushing with toothpaste is completely fine. It does not significantly disturb the bacterial population on the back of your tongue. But if you are using an antiseptic rinse, either switch to a gentler option or make sure you are consuming your beet juice well before or well after the mouthwash, giving the bacterial population time to recover. This single change alone could meaningfully increase the effectiveness of everything you have learned today. Let me also say something about consistency, because this is where most people fall short. Not because they do not believe in what they are doing, but because life gets busy and routines get broken. The acute effects of this combination, the blood pressure drop, the improved circulation, the vascular relaxation, these begin within 2 to 3 hours of your first glass. You may feel something today. That is real. That is measurable. But the deeper, longer-term benefits, the reduction in vascular inflammation over time, the gradual restoration of blood vessel responsiveness, the cumulative support for prostate blood flow, kidney function, and mental clarity, those build over weeks and months of consistent daily use. Think of it like exercise. One workout is valuable, but it is 30, 60, 90 days of consistent effort that transforms your body. Make this a daily ritual. Not a sometimes thing. Not when I remember things. A ritual. Something you do every morning the way you brush your teeth. And the men who do that, the ones who commit to consistency, are the ones who come back and tell me they cannot believe how different they feel. Now I want to bring this all together for you because I think when you see the full picture laid out clearly, you will understand why this combination is something I genuinely believe in and genuinely recommend. Beet juice floods your body with dietary nitrates that are converted through your oral bacteria, through your stomach acid, and through your vascular walls into nitric oxide. That nitric oxide bypasses your aging endothelium entirely and goes directly to work opening your blood vessels and improving circulation to every tissue in your body. Fresh ginger reduces blood viscosity through its antiplatelet effects, adds a second independent vasodilation mechanism through thermogenic heat response, reduces the vascular inflammation that would otherwise block your blood vessels from responding to nitric oxide, and may actively support the oral bacteria that make the entire pathway work in the first place. There is no redundancy here. Every mechanism targets a different point in the same process: nitric oxide generation, nitric oxide signaling efficiency, blood fluidity, vascular inflammation, bacterial conversion support, layer upon layer of complementary action, each one reinforcing the others. This is not folk medicine. This is not an anecdote. This is biology, and the more you understand it, the more empowered you become to make choices that genuinely move the needle on how you feel, how you perform, and how you age. Before I let you go, I want to come back to something personal, because I am not just a doctor who reads studies. I am someone who has sat across from thousands of men over 60 who came into my office feeling invisible, feeling like their body had stopped working with them and started working against them. Men who had accepted the fog, the fatigue, the loss of drive as something they just had to live with. And what I have learned over and over again is that the body has a remarkable ability to respond when you give it the right tools. Not drugs, not miracles. Tools. Precise, targeted, science-backed tools that work with your biology instead of fighting it. Beet juice and fresh ginger are two of those tools. Simple, affordable, available at almost any market in the world, and capable of making a meaningful difference in the way blood moves through your body, starting with your very next glass. That is your action step for today. Go get beet juice. Go get a piece of fresh ginger root. Follow the preparation I described. Drink it daily. Protect those bacteria on your tongue, and give it time to work. If you want to go deeper on the vitamins and nutrients that support male energy and vitality at this stage of life, I have created a full guide specifically for men over 60. It is called Men Over 60, the 4 essential vitamins that restore energy, boost performance, and reignite intimacy. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Go check it out before the launch price goes up. And if this video brought you value today, share it with a man in your life who deserves better blood flow, a brother, a friend, a father, someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe if you have not already. Leave a 1 in the comments if this was helpful, or a 0 if you want me to adjust my content for you. And I will see you in the next video. I am Dr. Akira Tanaka. Stay strong, stay informed, and never stop fighting for your health.